What's up, everyone? I am your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka your emotional support creature, because I'm a human being. I was gonna say another aka, but I got no other aka. Who else is here?
I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
Black by popular demand.
Ooh, black by popular demand. I like that.
Okay, there's an M in demand and an F in duck. Cool.
You're not wrong.
I'm your heavyweight champion from a Witch Nigga Wood, California, aka the janitor because we watch niggas, aka Lil Uzi Hurt, aka Big and Back being Bull, Marcus Ellison.
Oh,
there was layers to that.
And all of them are red.
Right? Last up?
It's me, Avery. I'm in a weird place right now. By the time you're recording
Looks
this,
like your bedroom.
Emotionally. I'm always in an emotionally bad place, but this yesterday was confusing emotionally bad place. My little Valorant update for you. The week you're listening to this, we're on week 3 of the group stages, but yesterday I watched us recording it. I watched my Sentinels go 0-2 in groups, so they're probably not going to make playoffs. So I'm not going to see 10s that land anymore, which hurts because I love 10s. That being said, I hecking love 10s. That being said, my TSM fucking beat the shit out of 100 Thieves. So I'm in a weird place right now. Let's move on.
So a little bit of bad, a little bit of good.
And
right?
Congrats.
Right. In that order. All right. Now that you know who we are, Press X Start Podcast is a weekly show where we talk about the latest video game news, review the biggest games, and give you our thoughts on the games we are playing. Our goal is to expand the video game media landscape through an underserved point of view. With that being said,
was that a monocle smile?
You're an idiot.
My ass came out retirement for this.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you shouldn't laugh at anyone else. That's what I always say. Starting today. With that being said, Avery, take us into the quick hits.
Okay. So last week we talked about Sony, Jim Ryan's boneheaded response to the Roe v. Wade situation.
And told you that man was a hoe.
Turns out. And you were correct.
And we commented on it a little bit. What was weird about last week is when we filmed it on the Monday, which meant that the actual ramifications of what happened on a Thursday had already come out. We just chose not to talk about them and save it for now. So,
hey, can I pause this real quick?
Yes,
I just want to clarify that this is not mud water. This is actually lemonade. You can continue.
As DJ tries to gaslight us if he drinks his mud water. This is from Nathan Grayson at the Washington Post. After Roe v. Wade cat email gaffe, Sony and Insomniac are playing donations. Now, this went out. This is a story that was broke on every major news outlet, and every major news outlet buried the lead. The story, as every news outlet read it, was Insomniac revealed that after Jim Ryan's thing, pretty much most of the PlayStation studios got together and wrote a 60-page response to Jim Ryan's statement and sent it to Herman Holtz, the head of PlayStation Studios, and hey man, what's going on? We need to see change on this. Insomniac also very, very much spoke out in a way that would allow them to be supportive of the people hurt by the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade situation, but they donated around $50K and Sony responded with $50K. Now, as people have pointed out, and that most companies will always match donations made by their employees. So this isn't Sony being extra generous. It's just Sony we have it in our charitable donations to put out $50K in matching. And as Rebecca Valentine from IGN did some research, Sony does that to any type of donation. including one that would be anti-abortion.
Yep.
There's no clarification of what are the timelines they've been doing that recently. I didn't see much digging into that, but this isn't like a good on Sony situation. What was buried in the lead of this story was Insomniac pointed out that, hey, Sony has put an effective gag order on us and all of their PlayStation studios in regards to talking about this statement, which sort of proves my original theory about what happened was that Bungie made their statement. It caused some turmoil within the corporate section of Sony. Jim Ryan and Sony PR put out their statement in order to calm down fears. That statement pissed off so many people. It got leaked. It got revealed by everyone. And now Sony is dealing with the ramifications. It's ramifications of that. That being said, as I also predicted would happen, this story has essentially gotten buried in regards to what's happening going forward. Something that going forward, Bungie has at the time of this recording has come out and reaffirmed their statement that, like, hey, Sony can do whatever the fuck they want. They're not going to stop us from playing with us, right? Insomniac has come out and put out a statement about, they put out a pseudo statement because Sony is effectively gagging them. They don't want to lose any autonomy. But frankly, outside of those two studios, Double Fine and maybe I think one more, everyone in the video game industry has been quiet about the Roe v. Wade situation.
Which is wild.
Cowards.
Like, I wonder if, you know, a couple or some or one or two of Sony's investors are, you know, anti-abortion people in terms of them
Until it happens to
doing.
them.
Wait, I didn't.
Sean's-
You guys talked at the same time.
I didn't say anything. Sean talked.
No, I said
Yeah,
that wasn't a joke. I said until it happens to them.
Right.
Until
And I
they
said-
know one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
and I said there's no doubt that there are anti-abortion people in their donors. Like, there's too many rich people for there to not be at least one.
Right. Yeah. It's just annoying. It's annoying, and it's one of those, like, I wish there was something that us consumers can do. But like the negative, or not the negative, like the unfortunate part about this is that we're so intrinsically linked with PlayStation and our consoles as just like I play my PlayStation to, relieve stress. Like that's my thing. So I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I guess I can go fight squirrels outside, but that's hard to do.
You can.
Not with that attitude.
We can just open every episode of this podcast calling Jim Ryan a hoe from now on.
Right? Play it on repeat.
Exactly.
I want to stress that one of the points I made earlier was that PlayStation opened up a can of worms in which made this political issue a video game issue. And as I expected, no one has said anything. There is some policy change at Sony that indicates that despite their lack of taking a side in this matter, they will be supportive to their employees dealing with the ramifications of this.
Mm-hmm.
But as like that's the most minor thing you could do as a corporation. Yeah. This is a shout out to every corporation who's operating within the confines of the United States of America. You pick a side, pick the right side,
pick the right side,
and stand your ground. Like I said, no one has talked about this. It's one of the reasons why Sony was able to allow this to pass on is beyond having a lot of really good Sony news come out at the same time. Is that there was no one to draw parallel to. There was no one to say, hey, this guy is doing the right thing. And Sony's doing the bad thing. Sony was just the only one caught with their pants down.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd even go as far as to say pick a side, period. Because one of my least favorite things about kind of corporate, I guess, culture is sitting on your hands and not taking a stand for anything. Like, even I don't endorse going on the wrong side of history, but like at least say something. Like, don't just everybody can't be silent. You know what I mean? Because then nothing will get done at all. So
The thing is, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, say it with your chest. Stand firm in whatever it is that you decide to support. Don't half-ass it.
It's like if you don't quote unquote pick a side, but you're still moving in a way, like you've already picked a side. Like
Silence is
now
violence.
saying, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
like
God.
them saying now, like, okay, we're gonna be supportive of our employees who are running up with issues like this. It's like, okay, well, they're picking a side now. They're just not saying that they're picking a side. Like it would be nice for them to come out and Jim Ryan to maybe go on his like hands and knees and say, you know what, I am sorry, everyone, I fucked up, and I actually do support the women out there and their bodily autonomy, and I got rid of my cats.
Okay, that's a bridge too far. I hate cats. They did nothing. They did nothing wrong.
Hey, let it be known, I was just playing a part there because I love cats. Cats are my favorite creatures other than myself.
So you're
Human?
a creature.
Wow, your daughter is.
So you love
Marcus, click this because I want to play that.
No.
I want to play London. I want to play that London's. Let's see, when is she gonna be emotionally cognizant? 12th birthday. Let's go there. I want to play this.
DJ was right. He's not calling his daughter a creature.
Exactly.
No,
there you go, DJ.
I believe.
Other than myself, I mean human beings. So there you go.
No, he means giraffes.
I'm not gonna have the same argument I had.
Giraffes.
I'm not gonna have the same argument I had in fucking third grade with my best friend Justin. We are all creatures. You can't just put up a biblical hierarchy on what's an actual conscious being.
Yeah, fuck you, Justin.
Biblical. I was talking alien. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Anyway,
shout out to Justin. You got me through elementary school. Thank you, dude. That being said,
nah, fuck you, Justin.
Marcus is a better version of you.
wow.
Marcus hung out with me on Halloween.
I mean, apparently I'm the replacement Sean in some groups. So I mean, it is what it is. It happens, Marcus.
You're my replacement, Sean Layton. If that's anything. Okay.
When's the PlayStation experience, Sean?
June 13th.
All right. June 10th.
Okay. So, in the news that buried the other Sony news, Sony has revealed their all-new PlayStation games lineup. This is directly from the PlayStation.Blog. All-new PlayStation game lineup: Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Demon's Souls, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, NBA 2K, and more join the service. This is from Nick McGuire, who's their VP of Services, Global Sales, and Business Operations at SIE. Essentially, we got the first look at the games lineup for the PlayStation Plus experience. The new PlayStation Plus. The classic game catalog is, in my opinion, lackluster. However, considering what this is supposed to be, which is supposed to be a sort of Game Pass like competitor, the PS4 and PS5 game catalog is a fucking gigabanger. Like I'm not gonna
playing some of these games that I was never gonna pay for.
So I think I'm objectively, yes, these games are good, but I think what I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around is that who is this for? Because like,
I see a couple of Jones I want to play on there.
Yeah, but you see a couple, right?
Well,
I guess
I see a lot.
To that point, DJ, who's this for? I make that exact same argument when I look at a sort of a Game Pass like subscription service, and that's just how I feel about streaming in general. But like, I think ultimately it's like, once again, it's not for us. It's for the people. Like, it's for the people who, I guess, on Marcus, who like only plays, unless we force him, a couple of PlayStation titles a year, and and don't play a lot of these. Because my big thing is Sony, for the most part, put all of their big first-party games on this list with only a couple of like noticeable like admissions and only like a notable couple of admissions, and they're.
Oh wait! Didn't they do? They did a list like this for the PS4 to PS5, right?
The collections. The PS Plus collection, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
but that was only PS4 games, in the mid-generation PS4 games. Like this is a lot more, and then more recent stuff on top of that as well. The third party partners is actually a pretty good list as well. My only caveat for the first party games of PlayStation, none of these will leave the service. This is where these games live now. If you take them off, that's a major L. The most interesting add-on to this is that Ubisoft Plus, Ubisoft Plus is being so like how EA Play is a part of Xbox Game Pass, and not even and from what I can tell, it's not even like, oh, you get to play these EA games. You get to play a trial of these EA games, so it's only like a trial to EA Play. As far as I can tell, Ubisoft Plus is going to be just part of the all new PlayStation Collection, which adds another like 20 Ubisoft games. And while they're not all bangers, they're all like relatively.
They're all mostly Assassin's Creed.
Actually, there's only one Assassin's Creed on there. It's the best Far Cry. Like both of the South Park games, which are chef's kiss of like comedy RPGs. The original Watch Dogs, which I think is a solid game, not an amazing game, but it's like Ubisoft also pointed out that Ubisoft Collection is going to grow by the end of 2022, so you're going to see a lot more on this collection. And then another thing that they also pointed out is they showed us what their limited game trials are going to be, which I think is like the saving grace of the premium mode, and it's going to keep your save progress. It's also going to allow you to earn trophies. And then the 6 games are instantly coming out on the time limited game trials are going to be Horizon Forbidden West, which is like a big thing. Uncharted the Legacy of Thieves collection, which is also a relatively brand new game. Then Cyberpunk 2077, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Farming Simulator 22, and WW 2K22.
And this looks like the PS5 version of Cyberpunk 2077, so this is the better experience.
Can you imagine him giving the PS4 version?
Here, the game trial is fighting the bugs.
And try to make this work for 2 hours.
And then the mic drop for the PlayStation Plus collection in regards to how I ultimately feel about it is like during the middle of the week, we got a random tweet from Sony Ben that PS1 Classic Syphon Filter will have trophies, which indicates to me that one of the reasons why the PlayStation Plus is like essentially Classic Collection is so limited is that they're working to update the classic games as they put on. They're not just going to dump everything on there, and we're probably going to get trophy support for a lot of these games on here, which I think is a chef's kiss that actually makes premium actually worth it for me.
So now Avery can't just be old game is old. Avery's like, but the trophy hunter in me.
Yeah, old game is old. Old game is old unless you do something new with it.
Yeah.
So like my ultimate feelings, I pointed out last week because like I said, this news dropped when we were recording whatever, and we already knew it. Now I'm like, how I feel about subscription services. All that shit is still there. I'm just saying objectively, this is a pretty good service. It's not just like in all aspects. And if I was a man who hadn't owned 75% of the games in the sort of extra category or played them in some form, I would be 100% considering it.
Yeah. I think like really digging down to this list, I think it's really cool. I think the third party list is where I'm just like, oh, this is actually really interesting because like a lot of these games I just haven't played.
Would you say this is the best value in gaming?
Whoa, he did it.
Whoa!
Like this is one of the situations where no, Sean, you're actually pointing on the point that I've heard like echoed a while, like in other like spheres of the game audiences from other people. In that, I think Gene Park pointed this out from the Washington Post that like Xbox Game Pass, it's a great service, and they're doing such a good job, and there's so much value in having all your games day one on that service. But as this 2022 is pointed out, Xbox has no games. And Sony's essentially put all of their Game of the Year award-winning games on this service as well.
Even the PS1 and PS2 games and PS3, like, Xbox over the years, they still only had Halo, Gears, Fable, Forza.
Yeah, I think the value of Xbox Game Pass is day one. It was canceled out by the catalog of Sony's bangers they're willing to put on this service to get people to buy in.
Yeah,
Marcus and Sean are use cases for getting the extra edition of this. How do you guys feel about it?
I see a bunch of classic games I want to play, just like those first-party PS1 games. If all of these have trophies and whatnot, like the first Ape Escape, I love playing that back in the day. IQ Intelligent Cube, I played the shit out of that demo back when I was stealing demos out of magazines back in the day, but I never actually bought the game.
Mirrors your childhood, Sean. Is that?
I literally played almost everything on this list: Ape Escape, Hot Shots Golf, IQ. I'm gonna fight you. With DJ's Mudwater from Africa, Jumping Flash, Syphon Filter,
Okay, hold the fucking phone. I will not allow the Africa slander.
Rep your set, King.
It could be high quality designer Mudwater.
My people didn't have their lands soiled and raped by colonizers for you to then call what is clearly some sort of Caribbean Mudwater.
Hey, Caribbeans still have their roots in Africa. We still get to call it that. One drop.
Anyway, I will say that
me just sitting here as a brown African American.
The reason why it's brown is because I am indeed using brown sugar and not white sugar.
Anyway,
you should have led with that when you tried to when you tried to explain why you tried to explain it earlier.
But yeah, they got Jack and Daxter and all that stuff. I'm gonna play a lot of these.
I'm probably gonna this is good for me just because given my schedule, especially these days, I don't have time to play a lot of games. So me sinking $70 into a game and not knowing how much time I'll be able to sink into it feels like a waste of money for me. So I really have to be picky and choosy with what I'm dropping coins into these days. And so this service is going to allow me to dip my toe into things and check things out that maybe I missed out on or was unable to justify putting the money into. So, this is, I understand why Avery is pretty anti-subscription service, but this is going to keep me in gaming.
Well, I'm very anti-subscription service because the way to reiterate my original early criticism about subscription services, they changed the way you make a product because you're making it for essentially a different delivery method of income. And
like I said, I completely understand. Yeah.
And Sony is guaranteeing that they're not going to change the way they make games, the way they're rolling out the PlayStation Plus collection and everything like that. So this is a preferable model of subscription service than its competitor for me. That being said, until we get to the period where games exclusively come out for it that I care about, it's still not a must-buy for me at this time. Unless they start releasing old games that I actually care about with trophy support, then I will definitely get the premium section and probably sit there for the rest of my life.
Fair enough.
Before we jump into the next topic, which is God of War Ragnarok, are you enjoying this episode? Do you like my Mudwater? It's not Mudwater, it's Lemonade. So fuck these other people. This is where it's at. Support me by liking this video, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification button. Let these chuckleheads know that you indeed stand for Lemonade and not Mudwater.
Lemonade is fucking one of the best drinks of all time. It is objectively the best.
Here we go.
It's objectively the best juice.
There you go. All right. Well, support me and Avery by hitting the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell.
Orange juice and cranberry juice are pretty goated with the sauce, but nothing's more refreshing than that nice, ice cold, perfectly balanced lemonade.
Yes. See,
I only drink juice with alcohol, so.
Why are you so black, Marcus?
Marcus lives in LA. He's always going out to mixers.
It's water, tea, and alcohol for me.
Look at this uppity dude now. I only drink juice with my alcohol.
Anyway.
All right. With that being said, Avery, take us into this God of War news.
In more Sony PlayStation news, and continuing to bury the lead of the Roe v. Wade story. This is directly from the PlayStation.Blog. This is from Mila Pavlin, the lead UX designer at Santa Monica Studio. So shout out to them because they are probably in charge of a lot of these changes. God of War Ragnarok accessibility features revealed. Accessibility has become a big topic in video games in terms of all things. Last of Us 2 was probably the most perfect accessibility game I've ever played in my entire life. So much so that the accessibility in that game helped me platinum it. Like, just straight up. And I see a lot of the roots of what Last of Us was doing in God of War. So, a lot of features of accessibility were added to the PC port of God of War. And now PlayStation is going the extra mile with God of War Ragnarok in that you're getting subtitles and font changes. You're getting like manipulation of the textures and graphics on the map. They're doing the high contrast mode that I remember from the Last of Us remake that allowed you to white out the entire world and only put interactable objects in like focus, which for a trophy hunting perspective is a chef's kiss of I know exactly where I need to go to find something.
They did that in the last Ratchet and Clank as well.
Yeah. Like there's you go to if you're interested in accessibility, go to the PlayStation.Blog and look at the full list. It's a lot of really interesting things that like this is how this I don't like when accessibility impacts the game's like gameplay loop of difficulty, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I love when accessibility like removes the barriers of interacting with a game, if that makes sense.
It would be nice if Microsoft's compatibility controller would work on the PlayStation.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does it? I don't.
I believe there was a story ages ago that you could play it on the PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that was a thing that everyone
Xbox
hoped for, but it didn't actually do that. But if it does, then that's awesome. That's great.
I'm gonna look it up. Keep going.
I think this is great. This is something that we all want to see more of. And when I look at stories like this, kind of like, this game is doing accessibility right, this game is doing accessibility right, I'm reminded of a story where someone was talking about how accessibility actually improves the life of everyone, and it's just we are so unaware of it that we just kind of accept it as, oh, that's just a thing. Like the sidewalk, like how you have the slope down portion of the sidewalk, that's for accessibility. And it's just like automatic doors is for accessibility. Fucking escalators for accessibility. And it's just like that stuff just it improves all of our lives. So the more we get these things cropping up and hopefully spreading to more and more games, maybe like a tool being developed where like you're able to glom on the tool to your game and you can make this process a lot easier. Like stuff like this is just great to see. So
a game probably about to have crazy accessibility features.
Not Elden Ring.
No.
Their accessibility feature is normal mode, but
their accessibility feature is me summoning Let Me Solo Her to fight Millennium Horn. But
I was gonna say Hellblade 2 probably gonna have crazy accessibility.
That would be cool. That'd be a hope. That'd be a hope for sure.
Yeah, this is like one of those things where if God of War 2 is going this hard in accessibility, then that means the standard for all PlayStation games going forward is some sort of high accessibility, and that will be a great thing for them going forward. One of the reasons I wanted to talk about this story is that if there's a lot of scuttlebutt if whether God of War Ragnarok was coming out this year, if Sony is confident in talking about its accessibility features and re-releasing the trailer with an updated an updated version of the original trailer to show off the accessibility features, then I'm more confident that the game is still on track for 2021.
Which means
2022. Wow, 2022.
I have a chance. I have a chance in the bracket.
A chance to do what exactly?
Score. Okay? Score.
Not on my watch.
We should have let him keep God of War Ragnarok on his goddamn counter pick list. I'd have ran that nigga for 30 points.
Anyway, moving on.
Oh man. Yeah. So just to jump on to what Avery's talking about in terms of the potential of this game coming out. So as it is right now, time of recording, Sony has not announced a showcase or a conference or anything like that happening this year. Do we think that they're just kind of waiting to the last moment to say, hey, look, we're doing this thing, check it out? Or do you think they're actually going to go through the whole E3 cycle without a actual showcase?
Nah. They're probably just going to drop like a couple day, give us a couple day notice, but there's no way they're going this entire summer without showing something off.
Yeah,
I mean, they did last year. They waited till essentially the fall to have a real conference.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe not necessarily summer, but
I think it's up in the air. It depends on what type of Sony we're operating. Are we operating on the Sony who's going to show the same 3 games every year going forward, or is this a Sony that has their calendar pretty much mapped out? It can if this is a Sony that's very confident in the release structure of games going forward, then they have no reason to not wait till after Microsoft has gone to do their conference. That's another thing I think they're waiting on, is that they're waiting to, because in a world that Microsoft's big 2 games for the fall have dropped off the face of the earth, and so Microsoft is still going to show off a fall that's not really going to happen with their press conference. I think it's prudent to just wait and see with them again, and then plan accordingly. Because Microsoft can show you a future that they really can't fulfill for the rest of the fall. So there's no rush for Sony to do anything right now.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't consider the Microsoft aspect of the equation, but I'm of course hoping that PlayStation throws something towards us in terms of, there's a conference happening in E3 time, just to kind of keep that tradition going. But as Avery's saying, last year they kind of waited until later in the year to do something. But I'm thinking, as Avery was pointing out, this God of War news is something that, for all intents and purposes, could just been saved for whenever they put God of War out, and just look, this has cool accessibility features. But the fact that they're doing this now before E3 time, and it's kind of they haven't put out a notification for a conference or anything like that, maybe we might get something. And then there's also the talks that Final Fantasy 16 and Remake Part 2 could be possibly shown at a Sony thing. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get some kind of news from PlayStation that's not Jim Ryan just completely destroying something else that we hold precious. But yeah.
Okay. This is
comes on stage. I also don't like the black people. Just leave.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, if Liam Neeson can work his way through it, maybe Jim Ryan can too.
Did Jim Ryan make Taken? Did Jim Ryan make Taken?
Was Jim Ryan in Love Actually? Movie still holds up. Got parts of it that are really weird now. Still holds up. Yeah. So this is a story from IGN. This is a super weird and fun story, and it's a piggyback of a bunch of things we've been talking about and reporting for the last couple of weeks in the world of Hideo Kojima and his oeuvre. This is from Jordan Serrani. Death Stranding 2. Norman Reedus seemingly confirms the sequel. So in a interview, I think in an interview revolving his AMC, his AMC commitments, I think someone asked him about Death Stranding 2, and he just sort of just came out and said, "Oh yeah, we're working on it."
Just flat out said it. Didn't give a fuck.
I think his direct quote is, "We just started working on the second one." This isn't him talking about like, "Oh, I was working on the DLC for like the director's cut, the director's car, or we're like doing some pickups." No, like, "Oh yeah, they've communicated to me that this is going to be the sequel." And then to add fuel to the fire, Hideo Kojima then immediately went on Twitter doing his Hideo stuff and posted images of the Negan bat, him having Norman Reedus in a headlock, and like
they said, "Go to your private room, friend."
And go to your private room. Which was like, "Hey, Norman, you fucked me."
He said, "I'm going to send you to God." Like,
so like adding this to the
upper room.
So like we can add this to the fire. So there are a lot of things go into this. There is the Microsoft written agreement that, hey, we're going to make a game in the future. Looks like that's being, unless Koji Pro scales up, that's being punted to the future. Someone pointed out that there was that old screenshot of a PlayStation dev console in like the background of Kojima projection shot. I'm like, that's probably just there because they're still like, why would PlayStation take away their dev kit from them? No, apparently that person was correct. They're still working on PlayStation games, so that's why it's sitting there. And then there is the whole PlayStation replacing, I want to say, Concrete Genie in their big logo with the Norman Reedus from with the Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding, which is indicating that they still see that as a pillar of their first party. So yeah, Death Stranding 2, everyone.
I'm here for it.
Me too.
In terms of the that Xbox game or whatever, it's possible that Kojima's working on the two like concurrently, because he did say like he's working on an unannounced big game, then he's also working on like a challenging game, and the challenging game is probably the Xbox Cloud thing. But yeah, this is cool. I wonder if this is one of those announcements that we'd have possibly seen in the PlayStation showcase, that, or like just like a little like, oh, Death Stranding 2 like trailer font or whatever.
I sincerely hope that if there is a Death Stranding 2, I hope it's the same cycle of Hideo just putting out vague ass tone pieces and then dropping the game.
That is like, we know what Death Stranding is. You can't confuse me anymore. I know your entire.
Are you sure?
Dude, like,
are you sure?
Kojima's like, oh, really? Is that a challenge?
I mean, we all like, this is some Death Stranding 2 talk. This is the conversation between me, Marcus, and Sean as the only people who actually played that game. So DJ, you can just sit in the corner of it. Nope, sit in the corner, didn't play the game. You're not part of this conversation. What do you guys think the sequel is?
I have no idea. Like, the game ended in such a
definitive way.
Yeah, so I'm like, I have no idea. That's why I'm saying, like, when you say that Kojima can't confuse you, I'm like,
I mean, because he can't confuse me, because there's no way it's just not going to involve elements from the first game. So there's no way that I can't sit there and be like, okay, this element probably means this. Last time I was like, what the fuck is that thing in the sky? What the Kipu? I don't know what's going on.
I don't care, man. Just give me my magic fetus.
So is there any like lore or anything in the game about the fetus growing? Can the fetus grow up to be a person?
That's what I was gonna say.
I think it's going to be a situation where you're playing as Lou and not Sam anymore, and Lou has taken over Sam's role as delivery service for probably maybe a continental situation.
I was gonna say that it might be a lone wolf and cub situation, where because I don't think
you make the entire game an escort mission.
No, not so much an escort mission, but more like it's like, because there's no way they're just like, if Sam is working on the game, or not Sam, Norman is actively working on the game. I don't think they do away with Sam yet. But I do think that there is going to be a factor of Lou being like at the least like Atreus's age in the first God of War game, or the first God of War reboot game.
Fetus gonna have a tax?
Huh?
I said the baby's gonna have a tax.
Maybe. Like, I feel like they're going to explore the first like BB that is out of the pod interacting with the world.
Well, she's not the first BB.
No, I mean the first one that's out in the wild, right?
No, Sam is.
I was about to say, wasn't that Sam?
Right. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Come on, Marcus. You know what? Even I knew that.
DJ, shut up. I can't believe we're still talking. We're trying to have a private conversation.
But okay, yeah, like, so I think that could possibly be where they're going. But in terms of like what the threat would be and all of that, I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, Timefall stopped happening at the end of Death Stranding 1, so they no longer deal with that. But I don't think the BTs are gone. I don't think the threat of the actual Death Stranding, like the fifth extinction event, would actually stop. I think Amelie
of course
out like you've postponed it.
But the BTs, part of the threat of the BTs, and then we can move on because this is becoming the thing. Part of the threat of the BTs is the fact that it happens during Timefall, so it's an added threat where it's just like, okay, you can't actively fight them because there's also Timefall. And I feel like if you're going to keep using BTs, you have to add a little something extra to it, or you're just going to be like, all right, it's more blatantly an action game. So I'm very curious.
The last DLC for Death Stranding was mostly action stealth situations.
Okay, well then, hey, I'm down with it.
I'm down with it as well. Put more Norman Reedus and his preteen fetus into my veins. This is from GameSpot, the fifth biggest Elden Ring website. This is from Jenny Zhang. Multiple Silent Hill projects are rumored to be in development. So apparently Konami is actually making video games, and it's from what rumors have leaked, beyond actual leaked images of a Silent Hill game being set in London, which were leaked a week previous to this. The reports have come out that they're working on at least 3 Silent Hill projects. One seems to be either remake or reboot by Bloober Team, the team behind the Medium, and the other seems to be an sort of a Silent Hill anthology-like series. The big takeaway from this is Konami isn't making any of these games in-house because Konami has no in-house studios.
They don't anymore?
Not really. I think they outsource everything for the most part. They might have the Pro Evolution team might be the only team that they currently have working.
Soccer does make money.
So yeah, I'm not the biggest Silent Hill fan, and I was pretty mid on the Medium. So like that Bloober Team being responsible for the next Silent Hill game doesn't make me go, oh snap. But this is an interesting wait and see.
Yeah. I'm also not big into Silent Hill, but if this is interesting news that could amount into a cool trailer, I'm for it as well.
I did play the shit out of the demos back in the day, though. I don't think y'all understand how many demos.
Oh, we understand, Sean.
Right?
You end every old video game story you tell with, I also stole this demo.
Like, I had a collection of them motherfuckers. I would go back
to
the
Infinity Rings of the PlayStation demo disc.
I would go back.
I guess technically, out of the 4 of us, I'm by default the biggest Silent Hill fan, and I'm very curious to see where they go with this because it's been outside of PT, it's been a long ass time since we've gotten anything vaguely related to Silent Hill. So, especially with where we've gone, I'm very curious.
Yeah, some clarification, because there's some Jeff Grubb reporting on all this. So the Bloober Team is working on specifically a Silent Hill 2 remake. It's going to have reworked puzzles, new endings, and it's apparently going to be a timed PlayStation console exclusive. Which in this world means either it's going to come out on Xbox maybe a year later, or it's going to come out on PC a year later, and it's never going to show up on an Xbox. So we'll see.
Possibly. And I think there was also some screenshots of one of the Silent Hill projects leaked, and it's like a I think the main character is Mexican.
Mm.
I want to say like it. Yeah, they're definitely it's a non-white character. So that's cool. But
I was gonna make a joke. Sorry.
Okay. In our final story, this is from Kotaku. This is from Ethan Gotch. Report EA looking to sell or merge. I'm gonna read the snippet of this. The video game market is consolidating like never before, and Electronic Arts is scrambling like everyone else. The Battlefield and FIFA maker recently pursued a merger with NBCUniversal and also held potential acquisition talks with Disney, Apple, and other companies, according to a new report by Puck. While a deal isn't currently in the works, it doesn't sound like EA plans to give up anytime soon.
As long as they don't go to Tencent.
This is I agree with the not going to 10-cent thing, like in terms of like EA's market share and everything like that. And I don't want everyone to adversary outside of the Chinese market thing. I don't have any adversarial relationship with 10-cent because they own a lot of games I actually do like, and I'm like, I don't see any problem with what they're doing there. So it's like it's more of like a reputational, cultural thing, anything right there. That being said,
Tencent is very hands off.
Yeah.
Like,
Disney.
Okay.
No, you could take it.
Oh, I mean, I was just gonna say that I don't think I care who EA goes to because it's one of those things where like EA has streamlined a lot. I mean, I guess there's Mass Effect, right?
Yeah,
that's the
like for me as a fan of EA, in terms of studios that I own, the only thing of value to me is Respawn because of Apex, and then BioWare for the lineage of and Apex I think cleared like $3 billion or something, either in last year or something. So like it's a major cash cow for EA as a. It's one of those things where like, as long as it doesn't go to Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo, I don't care who buys it, who they merge with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Sony can afford them. I mean, Microsoft could, but I think they're still dealing with Activision stuff, so they're not going to make that move now. I think, you know, the article is pointing out Disney and Apple. I think if they go,
Disney's not going to do it. Disney literally divulged all their fucking Disney studios to then.
Oh yeah.
To then go back and buy if Disney did it, that would mean that hey man, no one else is getting a Star Wars game anytime soon because now we have a bunch of studios that just make Star Wars games without EA controlling them anymore. But I don't think it's going to be Disney. I think honestly, this is an Apple or Google type of beat.
Yeah. That's
or
when
Amazon.
I first saw this.
Apple, Amazon, or Google. Like one of those three people who have a foot in games and need the instant we have game studio situation.
And has the money.
Yeah.
But I think out of those three, whoever EA settles on, I doubt we're gonna see much change in how the games are put out or produced.
I think you might see their sports games go to a game as service platform system.
Well,
which doesn't affect us in any way. So
that too, yeah. But I think that would be. I think a lot of people who play the sports games are also kind of calling for that. I think we saw an attempt at that with eFootball.
Yeah, that was Konami's. Konami's game.
Konami. Okay, right. Never mind. Not EA.
They have some stuff. They got franchises. I'm looking at this shit. They got Dead Space, Dragon Age.
Oh, Dead Space.
EA is like, regardless of everyone's I guess preconceived notions about EA as a publisher, they have they are a valuable entity. If you take Call of Duty out of Activision and you just remove the Blizzard of it all, I always saw, because when I thought of I always saw EA as a more valuable
company.
In company than Activision. They just were dealing with the everyone hates us, even though Activision is literally an actually evil company.
Yeah. You hate to see it, EA. You hate to see it. All right. So with that being said, this is another episode of Press X Start Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcasting app. Don't forget to hit that like, that subscribe, and that sexy notification bell whenever you see it. And yeah, just be good. Keep being good. Keep doing good, and fight the local fight. You know what I mean? I don't really know what I mean. I'm just kind of saying stuff that sounds good. Until next time, where we'll be talking about things of the game.
DJ has daddy brain.
Yeah, check our website at pressx2start.com. There you go. Is that a gnat? No, it's not. Okay. All right, guys. Take care.